Hello, this is Aaliyah, the therapist, and I wanted to come on here before the end of the month and talk about men's health. June is Men's Mental Health Month, and I couldn't let June go by without making a post specifically and exclusively regarding men's mental health. So I want to start off by sharing some statistics about men's mental health. 6 million men in the US are affected by depression every year. Men are more likely to report things like tiredness, fatigue, lack of interest, rather than things like feeling sadness, feeling depressed, feeling worthless. So overall in the US, 43 million people experience mental health related concerns each year. Predominantly, women are affected by mental health issues, but oftentimes men are overlooked. So in 2021, rates of suicide for men were approximately 4 times higher than that of females. And so basically, men make up approximately 50% of the population, but approximately 80% of suicides. So depression and suicide are one of the leading causes of death for men. Men are 3 to 4 times more likely to misuse drugs than women. So a lot of times men are more likely to engage in unhealthy coping mechanisms than women. For example, through alcohol, drugs, going to the gym, working out, looking strong on the outside, physically, a lot of times in order to cover up what might be going on internally. So some of the barriers for men to get mental health support is a lot of times stigma. So public stigma has to do with the perception in society in regards to men getting help for emotional mental health concerns. It also could be systemic. There might not be access or resources available to men as easy as it might be for women. So there's also self-perception and stigma, how it's perceived internally in a negative way in regards to seeking help, asking for help. They might view themselves as weak or unable to, figure things out on their own. Culture and society plays a big role. There's a lot of cultures and things like boys will be boys, or saying for boys specifically to toughen up, stop being so sensitive. In regards to fear or crying, it might be criticized, minimized, or dismissed as not a big deal. Strong masculine qualities are normalized for boys as the way the boys are supposed to be, and qualities that might be considered feminine, like crying, feeling afraid, or vulnerable, might be considered feminine and discouraged in boys. And so with these cultural things and these things in society that don't normalize emotional dysregulation, it reinforces the mental health concerns that may be affecting men and boys. So it's important to talk about men's mental health issues. It's important to share mental health issues and things like this recording, things that are being shared in other social media outlets and other websites in regards to normalizing men's mental health, it being okay for men to talk about their feelings, okay for men to feel vulnerable, okay for men to cry and to be affected by the burden, the struggles that they're going through. And a lot of times in society, men are expected to carry the burden, so to speak, in regards to their families, financially, even emotionally, being there for their significant other, their wife, their kids. But sometimes their own mental health is kind of not prioritized. And so as women, because I know I probably have more women watching this than men, as women, we have to reinforce men expressing their emotions, reinforce it being normal, reinforce supporting their emotional concern. So if you have children that are boys, or if you have a brother, or if you have a spouse that is a male, it's important to talk to them about how they're doing, ask them how they're doing, ask them how they're feeling, ask them how they're managing all the things that they do have going on. How are you doing today? What's your stress levels like? How do you feel like you're managing your stress? Not to overwhelm with questions either, but also reinforce that you're there for them. Don't feel like you have to carry it all on your own. I'm here for you. Reinforce it as often as you can, as much as you can, and help them to know that you're somebody that they can talk to without judgment, without criticism, without making a joke out of it or laughing at it, about it, or minimizing it. Because if somebody opens up about something that's affecting them, and the response is, oh come on, that's not a big deal, or oh come on, everybody has stress, or everybody deals with everybody's overwhelmed. Just listen, basically listen, hear them. If you don't know what to say, just reflect back with what they're saying. Sounds like you're really overwhelmed. It sounds like that's a lot on your plate right now. A lot of times people just want to feel heard. People just want to know that somebody is there and understands what they're going through. If the person is feeling really overwhelmed, starting to show signs of depression, obviously a change from their normal levels of functioning, and they aren't able to function, and it's starting to affect their social interactions, their work, their home environment, any of those, it would be a good idea for them to consider getting professional help from a therapist, from a support group. It's something that's really important, and really, I do believe needs to be talked about more. And I think even for myself that I need to talk about it more, and I want to do something more to support men's mental health. And also for anybody, self-care is important. Men, women, everybody. Self-care is so important. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed with work and deadlines and meetings and kids and family that we don't take care of ourselves. And prioritizing each other, taking care of themselves should be a priority in any relationship in the family. And so finding ways to release stress, finding ways to feel more grounded, feel more balanced and rejuvenated. I talk a lot about mindfulness. I talk a lot about grounding. Those are some of the ways that I use, in addition to things like fitness, working out, yoga, running. All these things help us feel balanced and help ward off things like depressed feelings. And so try to have balance, try to take care of yourself, and again, support the men in your life. Support them, let them know that you're there for them. Emotions, feelings, whether it's anger, frustration, sadness, happiness, joy, any emotion is normal. It's just a matter of how we're dealing with it and our choices that we make when we feel that way. All right, this is Aaliyah the therapist. I'm so happy that you made it through this. And drop a comment below if you want to share how you support the men in your life's mental health. And I'll be back again soon. Peace.